Reiss. Wilco makes a run ahead of it. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland, the home of the current, future, both not even world champions, Premier League champions. I've only been awake an hour, Jesus. And hello to everybody who's there and with me this afternoon, tonight, this morning, wherever in the planet that you are. If you're in space, I don't think any of those apply. It's deep to jump up and down and squeal like small children because, oh my God, what a game, what a performance that, boys and girls.
Hold on, sorry, Danny, what? Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
What's that?
It's the sound of inevitability.
Oh,
inevitability. What's the word? Inevitability.
I'm not even going to attempt to try and say that word. That, yet again, boys and girls, mums and dads, cats and dogs, crocodiles and ducks. That is the performance of champions. Yet again this season, Arteta has shown that he is learning game by game by game. That is probably one of the most impressive set of substitutions that I have seen in so better than anything Wenger ever did, better than anything Lundberg or Emery did.
I saw a tweet regards to this. I'll read it to you. At Rabbi X7XAFC, just, not stealing your tweet. I thought it was solid stuff. 2-0 down. Arteta subs in Smith-Rowe, assist for the first goal. Yep. Arteta subs in Ben White, who scores the second goal. Arteta subs in Reiss Nelson, gets the assist for the second goal, and then scores the winner in the last kick of the game.
Magnificent.
So I concur with that sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. And even fantastic to see a Hale-in boy, one of our own, coming on, doing it again. He's now got the same number of goals this season as Anthony, which is lovely to see
solid
for him.
Football player, £100 million, amazing player,
worth every single penny for just the odd Panenka and a little bit of showboat.
I like the thing that he does where he does it really slowly around like that, like a dog's chasing the ball.
Yeah.
Where he does that slow backward spin that would never be useful in like an actual game of football.
It wouldn't, and it isn't, and it doesn't, and it won't be.
That's why you never see him do it.
No, that's true indeed.
I'd love to see him do it in the Prem. I'd love to see it.
Let's go and have a look and see what cheeky monkeys are in the chat. First of all, there's you. And then there is Colo's Used Cars. If anybody, I think the car of the week this week is it's a BMW 3 Series, but it's a cut shot. It's two different colours. Don't worry. It'll do you a bad deal. Reiss Nelson keeping us in the title race as we all predicted. I predicted 7-0. Wow. Sai says, referees tried their best, but somehow we escaped.
I know.
Keysby Knight, let's frogging go. Well,
Fogging go.
Avon says, pretty much assured victory. We are all expecting. Yeah. Pete says, oi, Gooners, what a win. And lots of numbers. Really sloppy for conceding at home after 9.11 seconds against a pretty awful Premier League side. Great finish from Reiss Nelson.
Yes.
Turnip surprise. I don't like turnips. Says chop chop. And then says, great game, but sucked for my heart. And lots of numbers. Something needs to be done about the time wasting. It's an epidemic. 100-minute games coming. They are
apparently rumouring. Yeah, did you see that as well?
Yeah.
I was going to say that they basically, they've got that. They added it in the World Cup recently, where we joked around there being 14 minutes of extra time at half time. Do you remember? It was half time, and they played in 14 minutes of extra time at half time. That is how much faffing was going on in the first half, and they added it on the end, and everyone was like, "This is mental. The football's going on for like 2 days. It's crazy."
If it will soon stop, if they start going, no, we're going to keep playing because the punters have paid for 90 minutes. We're going to give them.
I agree with it. I agree. I'm just looking forward to seeing, like, I don't know, a year's worth of football in a couple of weeks.
That would be great. But something needs to be done about it because we saw.
Agreed.
When Everton players are doing it from the 4th minute, laying on the floor pretending they're dying, then you've got a problem, and Bob the Builder couldn't even fix shit like that. So there you go.
It was ridiculous because they scored so early on, so it allowed for the time wasting for such a long period of time. It was ridiculous for so long.
I know, winds me up. Tony says, "Wake me up." I was awake. I was like, my fucking cats. They're an absolute night. I opened my bedroom door, and all 4 of them came in, and I'm trying to get past them, get into the sitting room, and then I have to feed them, and then they won't get out of the bloody way so I can feed them. Swines. Jim Eves says, "Evening all, just about to get the heart rate back to normal." Nick Matthews, let's fucking go. Wonderful circumvention of the swear rules there. Nick, love it. Turn it. Complete joke. Over. Name I don't recognise before. Hello, Danny and Dick. Hello, Over. I'm glad to have you here. Lars Goran N. That match made me 10 years old in an instant.
Agreed.
Very Steph says, what a strike from Nelson. Inevitability. Michael Eden is in the Twitch. Procrastinating Womble. I'm almost starting to believe, but it's Doctor Who behind the couch time. It is indeed. Josh Page from the USA says, Reiss is our boy. Robert Wilkins, evening all, lubricated by wine and salty tears of the Spuds. Oh, Spurs lost to Wolves. Did I see that Conte was up for manager of the month? I'm sure I heard on the radio when I was dozing that he's up for manager of the month, even though he's only won 1 game and the other bloke has won. Well, he hasn't won any, and the other bloke has won about 3 or 4. If someone could know if I dreamt that or not, because
I feel like that's a fabrication. I don't think that doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. But I dream all kinds of nonsense. Don One says, "Go on, you Gunners." Michael, LA. Avon says, "Ben White, 1 more goal than Richarlison in the Premier League this season." What a
first goal for the Arsenal. Fucking love him.
Pete Coulson, I'm emotionally drained. Only side will get me through this podcast. Matt D'Souza is there. How must Spurs fans feel today? Well, let's feel like they have done for about the last 40 years.
Beautiful. The world's strongest footballer scored again today.
Mr. Arsenal podcast, which is Ryan, friend of ours. Evening, everyone. Patrick Carlson, evening. Gentile 1969 were just back from cardiac water with a red wine. Wow, you're all drinking. Does anyone else I haven't said hello to? Our very own Nick Fights is there. If you like people playing shitty old games from the 80s and 90s, go and watch Nick Fights on Twitch. That's just Nick Fights is his username, and I go in there, give him abuse and leave. Young, fast, scientific. I just hate Spurs and love the Arsenal. You'll fit in fine here, sir. It's wonderful. Robert Wilkins. I might have said Wobbett then. Robert. Daddy sent the drugs out if Conte might be manager of the month. Mr. Bob Lex, the PGMOL. Jess Griffiths says, just as we expected. It is expected as well, but wow. Talk about going the long way around. It's like being new to London and asking a taxi driver to take you somewhere. Went the long way.
Route, please.
Went the long way round. Mr. Bob Lex is there. Oh, Nick said he's raided us. Let's have a look. He certainly did 2 minutes ago. And Emmanuel T4 has followed us on Twitch. Hello, and thank you for the raid, Nick. You know I don't get notifications because we don't use StreamYard. Robert Wilkins. So, yeah. Who else haven't we said hello to? Sky is there. I did actually back out about 30 seconds. I was told by my wife when Reiss Nelson scored. Pete Geary, I haven't seen you for a while. Can we take a minute to laugh at City United fans crying over extra minute of injury? Just imagine all those fans that wanted us to lose and we're in the 98th minute. I was thinking, is there a record for the time between the start of the game and the first goal, 9.1 seconds, and then the end of the game and the goal closest to the end of the game? That's got to be about another 9 seconds. So 18 seconds. I think I'm having a trophy for that. Get the bus parade out.
Yeah, there's not going to be many games that's going to happen in, right?
No. Zaid says, hello, Danny and Deke. Right. Let's put our big boy pants on. Let's go and get into this and see if we can make head or tail of this wondrous afternoon. Really interesting stats they started it off with on... I was watching Richard Keys and Andy Gray on beIN Sports, and they said this is the first time since 1986 that a player who had not started a game under Wenger in any competition had not started a game for Arsenal. So from 1986 to 2023, every player, I mean, the 86 is probably Tony Adams going back all that way. Yeah. That's the first time, which is 14 plus 23 is 192 years. Wow, that's a very long time. Right, so initial thoughts about the lineups, Deke, because there was a couple of changes, wasn't there?
There was a couple of changes. I know. Here we go. Right. I just wanted to get confirmed. I know the Tomiyasu thing, but yeah, the one, obviously the Tomiyasu got my attention first and foremost. I was a little bit
good for him, is it? The last two starts.
Ooh, I didn't like him at all. We'll talk about that. But I didn't think White deserved to be dropped. I don't know. Anyway, but the one that really got everybody's attention was Xhaka not starting for the first time in like over a year in a few months. He's been like a starting staple for fucking over a year, and he gets misplaced today for Fabio Vieira, who has warranted some great performances recently, giving him that opportunity to play for the middle. I was a little bit worried about maybe the lack of weight that he's got, or the strength to maybe body someone off the ball or make the right challenge and stuff. But to be honest, I didn't really see too much wrong in my eyes. I thought he did very, very well overall. But yeah, I think that's the one that got everybody's attention. The same front three again, with Trossard playing up top and Martinelli and Saka on either side of him. So yeah, but apart from that, yeah, those two changes, not really much else.
Yeah. So we did have a little chat about Tomiyasu, because I don't know if it's because he's not playing regularly or whether it's just he's having a bad time, but two starts and both times he's been pulled off. As a defender, if you start as a defender, you tend to play the entire game, don't you? So 2 games, twice he's been taken off. When did he get taken off against Man City? It wasn't half time, was it? Was it?
I don't think so.
I'll go and have a look while you tell me what you think.
Sure. Yeah, I like Tomiyasu. I think Tomiyasu's a fantastic player. He's got the ambidextrous, so he can play both feet, meaning he can play right back, centre back, and left back, which is brilliant for a player of his versatility. However, he's a very good defensive wing back. So he is brilliant at one-on-ones. We brought him in the Liverpool game. We brought him in, I think, against the United game as well. He man marks a player like a star winger, like a Rashford or a Mahrez or something like that. He does very well at dealing with them. So, but the problem is his attacking qualities are not quite there in comparison to what White has got. Weirdly enough, White's obviously came on and made the difference, but Tomiyasu hasn't got that. The moment we got into the final third with Tomiyasu, he kind of slowed things down, kind of killed the pace of the game, and then ended up recycling the possession again. It got quite frustrating a number of times. And I think it came up to the moment where, I don't know when it was, I definitely made a moment. Here we go, 40th minute, Tomiyasu playing the ball out instead of playing the ball in, and with an uncontested cross. He just kind of accidentally tapped it with his wrong foot. And there was nobody near him, and it went out for a goal kick, and it was a bit like, fuck, that's poor. That kind of sums up his first half. Obviously, he got changed, swapped out at half time. But when did he got taken out last time? Do you know?
83rd minute.
Okay, all right. Well, that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Good job. We kind of assumed that it wasn't at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
5 degrees, and I'm not wearing any trousers. I could die during this show. Carry on.
You'll live. I hope.
Bring the heat a little bit closer.
I was frustrated with his first half performance. I love him as a player. I love his attitude, but I think he's a kind of player that you bring on when we're getting pressured a lot. He's kind of that guy. Whereas when we're in a comfortable position, White coming in and makes the difference. So I didn't say, I don't think he had a bad game. I just think he's not great going forward. That's all.
Yes, he's still a good player, and I think he was never brought to the club to be the number one. I think Arteta had Ben White as his right back forever, I think that was the decision because you don't have Gabriel and Saliba and then we're going to have another really good centre-back. He was good last season as a centre-back, but he is now, I mean, if Football Manager have now officially made him a right-back as well as a centre-back, then, that's all the confirmation you're ever going to need. Boy 10 says Tomiyasu just needs a run of games. It's more problematic that he started taking Tierney's minutes as left-back sub. Yeah, that's. I would have liked to have seen Tierney in today's game with the crosses that he was putting in, but Zinchenko was absolutely brilliant as well. Colo says Vieira couldn't stop crapping himself when we had the ball in the box.
Yeah, he's still got lots to do. But I think overall there wasn't any massive moments where I went, fucking hell, Vieira, that was poor. That was fucking poor, mate. I didn't notice anything like that. Obviously, Xhaka is still for us the first team choice. Favorite player he is my favorite player this season, Xhaka. The turnaround of him, his interview process as well. I've listened to a couple more interviews recently. I fucking love the guy. So I'm not saying he's going to get ahead of Xhaka, but I think he had a solid performance. Nothing to stand and scream about, but decent all the same.
Yes, just doing a little tweety poo. I'm multitasking. Look at me.
I like it.
Right. I need it on that screen, not that one. Lovely. All right. So the minutes. What do you make of the first goal? Because I missed the first goal because the one I was watching decided to buffer, and then I went to the other one and I was watching the game and thinking I'd missed 40 seconds, and I was watching it for quite a while, and I went, hold on, there's been a goal. How's that happened?
9.11 seconds. I have got the video in front of me, and I was going to do that thing where I just talk about the passage of play so we can kind of get the memory for it if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So it obviously comes from straight from kickoff with Solanke taking the ball. Odegaard mentioned something in his post-match interview that they are aware that Bournemouth had this freaky little kickoff thing that they do, kind of like the FIFA kickoff glitch,
wasn't it?
It was planned, 100% planned from Bournemouth. Even Odegaard admitted it. However, saying that they knew it was going to fucking happen and still fucking conceding from the thing that they knew was going to happen is a little bit frustrating. Anyway, Solanke's in the middle of the park. He plays the ball back, and there's an interesting run by, I don't know who the number 14 is, kind of runs across the centre and plays the ball out, allowing Solanke to run through the middle. Rothwell plays it out to the right-hand side. Zinchenko doesn't close down enough, and Martinelli, lucky ball through the middle. Solanke kind of does this dummy thing, which takes Gabriel out of the game. Saliba gets drawn to the ball, and then Billing puts it into the back of the net underneath Ramsdale. I was completely gobsmacked by the passage of play that I had just witnessed from a team that was sitting second bottom from, in the Premier League, and they look fucking awful. We joke about them being the yo-yo club of the Premier League, and they go and score a goal like that. Luckily, it's not the quickest in the Premier League history, because I think the quickest is like 7 seconds.
I don't even remember that. How do you score in 7 seconds?
I don't know, but I Googled it because I was like terrified that it would be, because then people would go back to that all the time. But anyway, what the fuck happened there? We were just, I don't even know. I don't know. I think it was just a very smart bit of play with a bit of the rub of the green in a couple of moments. But fair play. I'm just a bit gobsmacked.
Yeah, I can't add anything to that other than well done, Bournemouth. It was almost a set piece from open play. I've seen teams do that before. I'd imagine that the quickest goal ever was one that it just just saw the goalie off his line and then lobbed the goalie, because you're not really expecting people to do that during a game, are you? From kickoff, no. It's happened quite a few times, and people have tried, or it might be wind assisted or something like that. We've seen. I think it's more of a Sunday league.
I think it's more like a Sunday league thing than it is a Premier League thing.
It's so cold in here. When I turn the remote for my heater, it goes window open ? Cheeky twat to turn the fucking heating on before I die. Right, let's move on to the next bit. Three minutes in, Odegaard nearly scored with a low pot shot, and Saka followed up, and it was saved. 4th minute, right, Odegaard had another good shot. Go on.
I was going to say Saka came right off Neto's chest. It's kind of like he deflected it out. I was like, no, come on, let's go. Fuck, yeah, I thought it was in. I thought it was going to be
a scenario like they've kicked the hornet's nest. Be prepared, because you're now going to get an arse whooping. Not what it turned out to be. Then I've put from the 4th minute to the 19th minute, it's all Saka crosses and corners. I've never seen so many touches in the box, so many corners, so many crosses.
Yep.
And unfortunately, there's none of those are really going to do anything from a cross. They're no Kanu or Giroud or even Bergkamp Henry was half decent. He's a tall lad. It was never really going to come to anything. When they were playing 5 across the back, flat back five with 4 in midfield. And in their back five, they didn't have one, apparently. They didn't have one recognised centre-back. But bloody hell, they were doing a magnificent job, weren't they?
I was really frustrated with Bournemouth today. I'm not going to lie that I got quite angry at Bournemouth. I wanted them relegated like this. I felt like the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. Off with their heads now. Fucking, I got really annoyed. But they played very well defensively, apart from all their shithousery, time-wasting bullshit that they did. That was really...
But you can't... We did the same thing. If we were in the Champions League semi-final, we're 1-0 up on aggregate. We're not going to go playing Arsenal Arteta football, are we? We are going to try and waste time, and Ramsdale's going to be winding people up and doing. I understand it, but
sure, it just got a little bit silly because the goal was scored within 30 seconds, so it was like basically 89.5 minutes of fucking shithousery. It got a little bit tedious towards the end. But yeah, I got really annoyed with them. I thought Tomiyasu, once again, as I said, was out of the races. Ramsdale's save. Remember Ramsdale's save that he made? We got caught on a counter-attack, and Billing was once again rushing towards the Arsenal.
19th minute, yeah.
19th, yeah. And the ball was played across, and basically, I don't know who it is, takes the shot, and Ramsdale basically saves it, either with his chest or with his face. But I was like, oh my God, what a save. Confuses me still to this day why he is not England's number one. Confuses me. He's absolutely phenomenal.
But give Bournemouth their due. They could have been and should have been 3-0 up at one point, shouldn't they?
Yes, they should have. 100%.
Which is lots of people on Twitch. If you are new, if you can go and watch us on Twitch and YouTube, that was 7 people watching on Twitch. There's Michael, there is Nick, there's Mr. Boblex, there is Sky, there is me, and I think there is a way where you can go and tell how many people are watching, who's watching on Twitch, but I can't remember how you do it.
You can. You go on the thing, you see community top right. Yeah.
The people watching on Twitch: 01 Ella, Alice Dyer, Alien Gathering, Drap Snapped, Kath Qatar, Nutella. Jesus, I should know better than to try and read out Twitch names. Big Twitter names are a nightmare. Not to bot, Death 4, Retro Herbie, Sky's there, Unban Giroli, and Victorios. Bloody hell, I'm never doing that again. It's like trying to read some bloody Scandinavian v some Eastern European teams lineup.
You were sitting in the middle of Oslo, and you were reading some reading some options on the menu for dinner.
About 10 seconds into that, I regretted doing that. So that's an absolute nightmare. Mr. Boblex says hello, Deacon. We know Mr. Boblex is.
What's going on?
He was at the game recently. Yes, DT 24/7. What a game! What a win! Come on, you Gunners! Big muscly arms there. Josh says, can't believe people stream on Twitch anymore. They take 50% of your profits. I think they take more than that of ours because I'm not tax registered, and so they take the. That's why I say to people, don't subscribe, don't give us any money. If you want to, go to Ko-fi and then give any. Even I'd rather give me £1 on Ko-fi than a £5 on Twitch because we get about the same from each other. Not that we need money. Sounds like a code to get a free game. It certainly does. Right. Back to the game. 21st minute, Trossard hurt, ESR on. I mean, that's a little tickle under the chin for you and then a slap in the face at the same time. How did you feel about that? Because your boy was on.
My boy was on. I got very excited. I was in a Discord call with my mate Lex, and I got a little bit of happy wee came out, and I got very excited with it all. Got very excited. I started screaming, false nine, oh my fucking God, come on. And he didn't play for false 9 months. Then he did. But I was, for a brief moment, it was good times. But yeah, Trossard worried. I know Emile Smith-Rowe's fine. I've watched the aftermatch interviews and stuff. Arteta basically said, yes, we didn't want to push him and everything like that. So he's fine. However, Trossard, they're doing some tests, and that's terrifying because he's been brilliant. Really, really good. So I'm a little bit anxious there.
Yeah, it never ends, does it? You get one back and then another one's out, and get another one in form and another one's having a bad game. It's annoying, right? one of the 3,500 penalty calls we had today, 34th minute, between the 21st and the 34th, more attacks and Odegaard shots. Someone put in the chat here a little while ago, who was it? I'll give you the credit for it. It was Nick Matthews. Odegaard had 11 shots. I'm just going to go, we had 31 shots in total. Odegaard had 11, Martinelli 4, Saka 4, Vieira 2, Zinchenko 3, and Gabriel, Partey, White, Smith Rowe, Tomiyasu had 1, and Reiss Nelson had 2. Yes, so there's only Trossard, Saliba, Xhaka, and Ramsdale that didn't have a shot. Amazing stuff. Yeah, so I put it's more attacks than Odegaard shots. 34th minute handball call. Now then, I'm not sure which one it was because there were so many of them, but
it was about 67 handballs. I counted them all.
So we can't really talk. I think there was one. I think it was Stevens was responsible for 3 of the handball calls, and I think a couple of them weren't. But then at half time they went back over them and they went, "We should have had 2 penalties in the first half alone."
I think my favourite one was the first one because the commentator said, if that was an inch lower down his arm, I think that'd be a penalty. And I went, sorry, what? You having a fucking laugh?
That was it. That's
an inch was the difference,
well.
mate. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Sounds great. Absolutely load of shite. We should have had a couple of handballs. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. I thought the refereeing tonight was horrific. I thought the VAR system was horrific. But I think somebody mentioned at the start of the pod, one of the comments was, the ref system tried to fuck us, but we still managed to get the victory. And I think when moments like this happen, when you're when you're shown so much adversity and everything's going against you, and then you get the victory in the dying moments, literally the last kick of the ball, and you get it purely off your own merit and no one else. It's that much sweeter. I've never heard the Emirates explode as loudly as they did tonight. When you hear the commentary on Sky Sports and you're listening to it on speakers, they start fuzzing at the end because the Emirates is so fucking loud. I was like, holy shit, you can hear it through the fuzz. It was like, because it was just too loud. I was like, holy shit, man. What a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about all those calls. We got the victory in the end and hopefully Bournemouth get relegated.
I think ABW's Jock was there today, and I think Femi was there. Femi said it's them. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can go back and read them. It was.
Well, you do that. I want to respond to a comment here by Boy 10Do. Yeah. And Josh as well saying about ESR looked that a bit, lost in the match. He did look lost, but he is rusty. However, when it comes to the married false nine thing, it comes from a very long joke, probably about a year ago now, where I mentioned when ESR was playing very well before his injury. I mentioned on the podcast here that because I play Football Manager all the time, I like using ESR as a false nine because his stats match up perfectly for the role. He's basically built to do it. So I was laughing and joking about it. Oh, maybe that's the reason why, maybe he could get a chance there now because Lacazette wasn't playing very well. So I was like, just play ESR. He's playing well. Play him at the false nine because he plays it really well in FM. So that's why that is. Anyway, continue, Danny, what you were doing.
Dora's come to show everybody her mooey, haven't you, Dora? If you could not show your bum hole to the boys and girls at home because no one wants to see you mooey, Dora. I've got a picture here of ABW's wonderful Mr. Jockmeister. Where is it? Brand. There you go. There's Jock. He said he was screaming and he had tears in his eyes and he now can't talk.
Fantastic. Wow. Sounds like a perfect night. That's brilliant.
6'4" of angry Scotsman there.
Beautiful stuff.
He's more like 5'4", but we don't tell anybody. Right, getting back to our notes. Yes. Oh, there's some crumbs on your table. Stop that. Did you put crumbs there, Dora? No, I don't want crumbs. Handball will be done. So much attacking play. Bournemouth don't have a recognised centre-back in their back five. 41st minute. Touches in the box. After 41 minutes, 35 for us, 3 for them. And then 43rd minute, another good Bournemouth counter-attack. They were really hot on that, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. However, we were pushing really aggressively and a lot. So, I think you just need to have a half-decent brain. Listen, Solanke's a decent player. I like Solanke. I think Billing's been shown to be very good today as well. But I like Solanke. He used to play for Chelsea, Solanke? Remember Dominic Solanke used to play for Chelsea?
Wasn't it Liverpool? I don't know.
Liverpool. Sorry, maybe even Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool. Then I might be wrong.
That he went there, did bugger all, and then he managed to find himself when they made it down to the Championship, and then he had a really good season.
Liverpool. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. But I thought he's a decent player. He's not. Don't get me wrong. I kind of think he's like in the same kind of mold as a Mitrovic kind of player. He's a decent enough player, but he's kind of like in the middle. He's not quite Premiership, but he's not. Well, Mitrovic is playing well this season, but he's not quite Championship, kind of in the middle. So I think he's a decent player. So you just got to have a half decent counter attack and a bit of a footballing brain to maybe generate a counter attack of some possibility. Because we were playing so aggressively, so aggressively, it was always going to happen. But we reacted beautifully every single time. And Ramsdale was on the ball as per usual, doing the business. And for me, he was the second man of the match, I think.
Last season, he scored 29 goals in 46 games for Bournemouth. Started his career at Chelsea. 2004 to 2017, went to Liverpool, and then he was left Liverpool after 1 goal in 21 games and went to Bournemouth. But his stats for England, under 21s 9 in 18, under 20s 10 in 15, under 17s 11 in 14. Hell of a lot of promise, but yeah, £19 million they paid for him.
Young, fast, scientific put, he's not shit, but still very shit. It's like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Where does it say that? Is that someone's put it in the chat?
Yeah, someone's put it in the chat. He's not shit, but still very shit. It's like, that sums up Solanke perfectly.
I'm so far behind in the chat, so I've been going.
No worries, you'll see it. It'll come out. It's fine.
Right, half time. I was going and getting this little ditty. There you go. Half time stats: shots 14-2, on target 3-2, which is a part of our problem. Off target 4-0. Passes. This isn't an error. This is an actual fact, people. Passes 391 to 66.
We had a couple of we passed the ball a bit.
And corners 9-0. That is unbelievable that we could have that many. I mean, after the entire game, I'm going to go and get passes here and see how many passes we had in the entire game. How many do you reckon?
Wait, a total passes in the game?
Yeah.
600?
735 to 177. And out of those 735, 654 were accurate. We had an 89% pass success rate. We had 81% possession, 31 shots to 4. And Reiss Nelson had 100% pass success rate. Gabriel, 96. Smith Rowe, 96. Saliba, 93. The only person who beat him was Fredericks, who had 100, but he came on in for the last part of the game. There is currently over 100 people watching us on YouTube. It'd be lovely if you could give us a subscribe if you like it. If you don't, then don't bother. A thumbs up would be smashing as well. We've got 40 subs and a thumbs up, which for us, if we're honest, that's more than we usually get. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. In fact, get the URL to this, get it in an email, go to your work company on the work computer and email it to every single contact that your company has.
CC everyone. CC everyone in your address book.
And if you work for the government, just send it to everybody. You
do one of those emergency notices on your phone where he sends it out like a government message, something like that.
And if you get fired, then we're very sorry.
It's for the cause.
Second half, White on for Tommy. We've already talked a little bit about that. That was an astute substitution. 53rd minute, Martinelli break down the right, but takes too long to make his mind up, and they block him. He had a touch of the Xhakas against Man City there, didn't he? I think he was either waiting for someone or he wasn't sure what to do.
4 goals in 3 appearances up until today. Got asked a lot from him when Trossard came off. Emile Smith-Rowe played on the left, and Martinelli was basically being used as the out-and-out striker. I still don't think he's a striker. I think Trossard shows that he can do that false 9 role. I don't think that's Martinelli's strong game. He's very much like Tierney and really likes to cut out, go wide and cut quite deeply. But he's also got the ability to go to the byline and put a ball in with his weak foot. I don't think playing off the last man and being able to play his back to goal is his strength. Saka can do that. Saka does that day in, day out. He plays his back to the defender, gets him tight, and then gets him in a turn. He does that all day, every day. That's all he fucking does. It's amazing how he does it. It's like a Robin situation where it's like, don't let him cut on the inside. Don't let him on his left foot. Oh, he's done it. Oh, he scored again. We all know it's going to happen, but you can't do anything about it. Saka's very much the same way with that skill and ability to be able to beat his man. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, I think Martinelli had a bit of a weird one. But as I said, I think there was a little bit of pressure on him.
Can't be great every game, and we let him away with that because he's one of our own and he's absolutely brilliant.
But the great thing, the great thing about this Arsenal team is we can have that happen. So if Martinelli has a poor game, we just go and win the game anyway.
We've got 53 thumbs up. 53.
53?
That's amazing. If we get to 1,000, we'll do this show naked for the next 5 hours. I like your picture, young, fast and scientific. It looks like you're at a computer trades show in 1984. Black and white. Nice. Just highlighting all your messages. Useless pathetic noob says, tappy lads, let's get going. Oh dear, great one. I'm saving your questions for after the show. Rudy, we need to use our corners better. Corners aren't an advantage for us. Yeah, Boy 10, Crozier Dubry to start as a striker. Get him 4 sub appearances afterwards so he gets a medal. Don Juan getting angry. Hit the like if you hate Tottenham.
Read.
An Arsenal podcast. You can sing YMCA and I will sub. One thing I don't do is sing unless it's hate songs at Spurs. And even most of them, you're not allowed to sing anymore. Fucking world we live in. Yeah. Waffles not in Portland is interrupting his hockey game. Yeah,
I've seen a hockey game live. I saw the Calgary Flames play a game of hockey. And I couldn't track it, couldn't watch it. And every 2 seconds, there was an advertisement. The scoreboard brought to you by Motorola or some other thing. And my ears would just switch off when I heard an advert. So I just didn't know what was going on.
So Nicholas is there on Twitch, a name I haven't seen before. Aditya, I think that's how you say your name. And the 918 blog. So if you want to blog, hopefully he's an Arsenal fan, go and have a look at that. Tuning in for the first time at 3 a.m. What a night to celebrate. Big up you guys. Let's celebrate tonight, analyse later. Yes, indeed. Wise words. Tailwood Studio says, I think I know who that is. That's someone who's using their work account. No, that's a bus hire one. I don't know. Martinelli is similar to Zinchenko. You get the best from him on the wing, coming centrally, and the same Zinchenko is the best coming from left back into midfield. They lose markers and get into the spaces. Very good point. Ryan Mitchell, fair enough. I will sub anyway. Cheers, Ryan. Rudy says, I settle for the 2-2 draw and thought if you don't win it, you don't lose it. But Reiss had a different idea. Excellent. Spot on. I've been watching a lot of people on Twitch wandering around India. And it is an amazing place. And when I have my miracle cure, I'm off to India. And I go and live there for 6 months. If it works, which it probably won't. Boy 10 says, Ditya is getting into all the Arsenal content creators. Welcome. Lovely. Good. More the merrier. Dublin Gooner is here. An ice hockey team called Flames. Can they swim? Good point. Yes. Ditya says it's an Arsenal and a personal blog. Good. Jashar is there. Evening, fellas. Passing through with a like. Very kind of you. Rudy. Halen Products rescue us again. Right. Back to the match. Where were we?
We'll talk about the first goal if you want.
Partey's goal. 61st. I've put... they almost scored from a free kick and then they got a corner into the middle. Partey loses his man who headers it in, and at that point I'm going, bloody Partey, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then I've put, we need to just keep doing what we have been doing and we will be okay. 61st minute goal. Go on, Indy.
Yeah, their goal completely forgot. I just want to talk about our goals. I was like, oh yeah, they scored again, didn't they?
Did they?
Sorry. Yeah, they scored again. 2-0.
Oh no, I want
even you.
I forgot. Normally I put the word goal when they scored.
Even me, we both just completely forgot. We were just like, let's talk about our goals. Yeah, fuck these guys. Anyway, they score a corner, which took them about 15 minutes to take.
Yeah,
because it took so fucking slow to fucking walk to the ball. Ball's put in. Who scores it? Good run from the number 25, whoever that fucking is. Partey is tracking him and just completely and utterly switched off. The thing is with Arteta's tactics, apparently it's zonal but also positional based on sections of grass on the pitch. So it's like a chessboard. Because I always make the jokes about the chess match when Pep Guardiola and Arteta play, but that's pretty much how Arteta plays. So Partey doesn't track the runner, goes in, puts it into the back of the net. So I don't want to talk more about that anyway. But there we are. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about our first goal. It's much more important.
Our first goal, which is much more impressive.
Much more impressive.
The second of the season.
It is. Saka puts the ball in. Neto just does this really weird high punch in the air as opposed to out. He kind of punches it in there like a dragon punch. Emile Smith-Rowe's on the edge of the box. He comes into the box, heads the ball just straight back post. White's messing around. I don't know what he's going on there. And Partey just basically sides foot into the net. And we've got ourselves our comeback is on moment. Partey picks up the ball, runs to the halfway line, and just puts the ball back down, and he wants to start again. So I'm really happy we managed to get the goal. Great goal from Partey, and it was nice to see. Hopefully, this gives Emile Smith-Rowe the confidence he needs, and hopefully, just playing games and getting the match fitness again is going to dust off the rust. And hopefully, we'll see an Emile Smith-Rowe before the injury, where he scored some really. There was moments as well in this game actually when he was on where he was doing those last-minute runs, those back post last-minute runs, and he was kind of out of nowhere. He wasn't on the screen, then he was, but it didn't work out for him in the end, but it was nice to see it. So assist for him, brilliant stuff. Partey 2-1.
V253 says, whatever happened to the Welsh tappy guy? Me and him had a disagreement, and so he talks to the rest of them. Just don't talk to me. I reckon he'd strangle me if he got his hands on me. So it's probably best. Ryan Mitchell says the goal was scored 3 or 4 minutes after the end of stoppage time. Yeah, it was. The Matt Hatter is here. I'm late, but oh my God, I did my knee in celebrating.
Beautiful.
Haguken, I don't know what that means from Mr. Waffles. Josh says, Deke, you have some good hockey hair there. Yeah, business.
I washed it this morning. In the back. The Malay. It's the Malay. We'll see.
It's awful. Rudy says, don't think Vieira used his chance today. Yeah, we covered that a little bit. Right, so it's now 2-1, and it's back on. 63rd minute, Neto booked for time wasting or arguing about the time wasting, which was nice because that means he couldn't do it anymore, which we still did a little bit. 64th minute, break by Bournemouth, and Ramsdale saves us yet again after a superbly weighted dink ball over our defence from their player. 66th minute, another penalty appeal. This time Martinelli is brought down in the box. Was that one a penalty, do you think?
I don't know. At the end of the day, I didn't want it to be
to remember.
Yeah, I don't want it to come down to those stupid little moments as much. I want to talk more about the passion of the game. We can always look back and go, oh, maybe that was a pen. There was loads of moments where we thought it was going to be a penalty. We made jokes about how many times the commentators made a joke towards the end of the game where they went, just so they know, can we maybe tell the Bournemouth team that if they do handle the ball in the penalty area, it is an infraction, because it was becoming a bit of a joke now. But do you want to talk about the equaliser?
Yeah, where are we up to? Penalty appeal. 68th minute. Nelson on for ESR, and then 69th minute.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, so Nelson has only played 63 minutes of football this season. I think that needs to be said.
2 goals and got one assist.
Scored 2 goals. Yeah, I think that needs to be mentioned. That's how much football that guy's played. He's played just over an hour of football this season. So he needs to get more game time to be able to get the medal at the end of the season. It's 10 appearances, minimum appearances to get the medal at the end of the season. I think Nelson
get an official medal. I think Nelson get others handed out.
Sure, but I think Nelson deserves more than most now to get that warrant, to get that medal more than a lot of other players that haven't featured as much or whatever. I think Nelson's proven that. So it comes on for ESR. There's lots of questions. Maybe ESR's not doing well, whatever. We don't know about Trossard. They're going to have to do scans on Trossard, but ESR is fine. Apparently, everything's fine with him. It was literally a directional change, and they didn't want to burn ESR out. He's only just coming back from injury. We want to take time with it, like we did with Partey and Jorginho and Gabriel Jesus. He's kicking the ball about, but we're not pushing it. So he comes on, and so we have a bit of a change up on the pitch. I can talk about the second goal, which involves the man in question, who is up. His contract's up in June this year, and I have a feeling that may have sealed the deal with his boyhood club, the Arsenal, and he might get himself another contract probably at the end of the season now because of this.
Someone has asked us a question about that later, but I've got some Reiss stats here. His first game of the season came on for, played 63 minutes against Nottingham Forest, 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 minute against Wolves. Then he had thigh problems, not in the squad, on the bench, not in the squad, and then 21 minutes today. So far this season, 3 Premier League games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 84 minutes. That's not too shocking, is it?
Impressive. That's so impressive, man. That's so fucking impressive.
That makes him our most prolific striker.
Where the fuck has this Reiss Nelson come from? Where has this guy come from? He's been at the club since fucking donkey's years.
He's had a horrific problem with injuries. He's had a couple of loans out as well.
No, but he's had moments where he's had opportunity to showcase his skill. But I think he's just matured. I think he's really got it into his head now that football is, and he wants to do it here, and he's proven it. I think he's got his contract. I think he has. I really do. I think he really has got his contract now.
He's still only 23, 5'9", born in the Elephant and Castle in London. He's for the England under-21, 6 goals in 12 games. For England under-17s, 11 goals in 11 games.
I think he slept on a little bit. I think he slept on a little bit here. We're going to see a lot more of Reiss Nelson in the final games of the season, as well as the Europa League. We've got Sporting this Thursday.
Yeah,
that's gonna. I think we're going to see a lot more of Reiss Nelson. I think we're going to see a lot more of Reiss Nelson, as well as Emile Smith-Rowe, but Reiss Nelson.
Well, show how injuries he's been. 17-18, he played 16 games. 19-20, 22 games and 3 goals. 2021, he only played 9 and 1, an injured season. And then 21-22, he only played 1 game for us, but he went to Feyenoord in the Eredivisie in Holland. Yeah. And the first half of the season, he was okay. Second half of the season, he helped them get to the Europa League final, and they were runners-up against one of our other boys who was playing on the other side. But he did have a half-decent loan on loan at 18-19 at Hoffenheim. He got 7 Bundesliga goals in 23 games. So it's all about that was in 18-19. That was after his breakout season with us. And so he has got it. He has got the ability to score goals. It's just the injuries. And he was brilliant playing for the under-18s and under-21s and under-23s. He's brilliant for England. He just needs to be given the love and then give some time. And he can play left wing. He can play right wing. He can play anywhere you want him to do. And he is a really, really good player. And I've been saying after he scored a couple of goals against Forest, I really hope he comes back and he starts playing for us again, because he is he's going to save us another £50 million.
He's brilliant. He's done so well tonight. I was like, really, we're going to bring off ESR? Really? Oh man, I don't know why. Why are we going to do this Nelson thing again? He shut me the fuck up.
Rudy says here, what I am most impressed with is that the players never give up. Mentality in this team is sky high. When we could have said things like when could we have said things like this about an Arsenal team? Not under Wenger, bottlers most of the time. For the second half of the Wenger regime, bottlers. The Emery thing, bottlers. Emery didn't want to go out and attack in case he conceded a goal. Such boring as Villa fans are seeing now. Would not take risks. Boxing Perfect, a name I haven't seen before. Gooners. If there's any people here that are new, come and say hello. Read and ask to say hello to you. Read out your name. Formerly knows who is there as always is. Nelson so far has scored more than Richarlison has in the league. Very true. So where are we up to now? We have just done the goal. 72nd minute. More great play from Saka. Ball hits their defender and he headed towards goal and then came back off the post. So I think that means Saka had a shot. It hit their defender. I think it was Stevens. Stevens, hit the post. Yeah, hits the post. And then bounced back out again.
That's another hand. That was another possible handball.
Yeah.
Some of them are weaker than others and whatnot, but
74th minute, great run and shot by Martinelli. Goes over. 76th minute, we had 21 shots at goal. Not on target, just a goal. Another penalty call deep. Stevens again, handball. So he had 2 in the space of 5 or 6 minutes. Basically, they're shitting their pants and they're panicking and they're flustering and trying to stop everything. another one. I mean, hopefully, Match of the Day. I say hopefully, they're not going to do it. Match of the Day will look back at each and every single one of these VAR decisions and give us a fair billing on whether we can do it or not. Do you think they'll do that?
No.
Let's move
on. That's what I really have to say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
78th minute, quick counter attack down our left. Odegaard had a shot, blocked, corner. Another penalty call, billing, handball, not given. 83rd minute, Vieira off for Xhaka. What do you think about that? Do you think we were shutting up shop?
No, I didn't think we were shutting up shop. Didn't we scored with Vieira on the pitch, didn't we? The next goal. Yeah, we
scored. Me not putting the word goal in again?
Yeah. Let me just talk about this, the equaliser first, Danny, before we take Vieira off. He's still on the pitch.
I was in bed and I was typing this on my phone.
He's still on the pitch. He's still on the pitch. Just give him a chance. Okay.
God, I've gone ahead at 14 minutes. Right. Rewind back to the 70th minute. I haven't.
Partey's made a run through the box, through the middle of the park. We'll get the words out in a minute. Ball is played out to Nelson, who out on the because he obviously just come on. He's out wide on the left-hand side. Vieira's there as well. Martinelli's making a run into the box. White is just on the edge of the box at the top of the screen. Nelson's touched played a really nice little pass into his path to be able to put the ball into the area. And it goes to White at the back post, who does like an Ozil thing where he hits it into the ground first before he puts it towards the goal. It goes over the line. Referee pretty much gets the notification straight away and just points straight to the centre circle. 2-2.
I got so carried away when I said earlier Nelson on for ESR. No, I said a goal and 2 assists from the subs. It was just before that. So here's a picture of Ben White scoring his first ever goal for us.
Yes. No. That's not it. That's not where that is. That's not where that is. No, that's the winner. That's the winner.
Okay. I'll go through some of the other ones I've got. This one.
Yeah, that's all right. So there's a video which you can find on Twitter, guys, of a tweet. Hold on, let me find it. The wording is pretty decent. It's very funny.
Just look how much it means to these players.
Yeah, at Rory_talks_ball. You can actually watch this 15 times. It's the end when Nelson scored, and he goes, Saliba nearly takes his own shirt off. Odegaard's done on the ground. White's giving it to Neto. So when you watch the replays, the moment Nelson scores, White runs up to Neto, who's standing up, and just does this in front of his face.
Does what? Does what?
So it's not... Huh?
I had a picture up. I didn't see what you were doing. What was he doing in front of his face?
I was just doing this. The picture is going like that. And I was like, White scored. This is him just involved in the moment. And he's just doing this right in front of Neto. It's brilliant. These are some of the images that we saw at the end of the game after the Nelson goal, which we'll talk about in a moment.
My favourite picture is this one.
Yes, there it is. Fantastic technique from Nelson. Completely unexpected. The good thing is, Bournemouth were wasting a lot of time. We were getting frustrated. We only got 6 minutes of added time, right? Even during the added time, they wasted time on added time. So we ended up getting that extra 1 minute to get the ball from a throw on straight out and then played, and we take a shot and it goes out for a corner, and we're like, nothing's going to happen here. Zinni's getting the ball and running it to the corner flag, and we're like, nothing's going to happen here.
Ramsey Pumpkin puts Man United paid 100 million for Anthony, 3 goals. Spurs paid 60 million for a Carlson, 0 goals. Boy 10 says Reiss was very nice at Hoffenheim. He was, and he come back and he got injured. Procrastinating Womble. Whoever can afford to sleep on a Premier League footballer must be a very rich person. Absolute decadence. Aditya says there was only one plan. That was to make Plan A work.
Kind of reminds me of Wenger days. That does. That kind of reminds me of Wenger days. He's got that from Wenger.
Right. So I'm going to leave Don's question thing up, so I remember. I'll go from there. So I'd gone too far forward. So my note said 69th minute goal, Ben White, break down the left, Zinni to Nelson, crosses for White to slot in with his right foot. Neto parried it out, but VAR said goal. See, when I do this on the PC, I normally put capital letters and put it in red when there's a goal, but I was typing the notes on my phone in bed.
That's all right. No worries. So I just thought I thought it would be a moment worth noting.
Important. It's important to talk about the goals. You're not being picky.
I don't want to overstep my mark, Danny. I just felt like it was an important moment we must discuss.
Now we're fast forward back to where I had gone to 83rd minute. Vieira off for Xhaka. What do you think about it? Do you think that Arteta was going, they keep getting us on the break, maybe we'll just settle for a 2-2?
No, I didn't think that was the case. If it was a year ago, then yes, but not this season. Xhaka's my favourite player this season. His box-to-box ability and that final third consistency that guy's got for a pass or even a goal it's been one of my favourite moments this season. Few moments this season, sorry. So no, I didn't think we were going defensive. I think that was just another strategic attacking change, and it ended up. I don't know if it made any massive differences, but it was a change that I very much welcomed. Obviously, we scored in the last kick of the ball, but yeah, I thought that was I love Xhaka, so I'm fine with that, no problem. I think Vieira didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game either. I thought he had moments that he's gonna have to. It's still his first season, guys. I think he's got some ability, but we're gonna need to just give him time to grow, and maybe we'll see. Fabio Vieira 2.0 next season. We're hoping for progression and stuff, and we'll definitely need that for Champions League runs that we're going to be doing next season. That's for sure. So yeah, no problem. Loved it that Xhaka came in.
Mr. Boblek says, should we start counting loud at the stadium to make it apparent that the goalkeeper is wasting time? We used to count the steps, didn't they, back in the day?
I love that.
11 steps or something?
I love that. Can you tweet that and we try and get that going for Arsenal fans? Because I think that would be fucking hilarious if the Emirates just started counting like 1, 2, and I would wet my pants. I tell you what, the referee would have to take note because someone's doing it for him. I have to take note. It's happened so much this season. It's happened so much time wasting. It's crazy.
How many? What is the 3-step rule for goalkeepers? What is the 4-step rule? I can't. I'm just having a quick goggle on it to see if I can.
Oh, okay, no worries.
It doesn't. It's not coming up immediately, so I can't sit here all day reading that. But there used to be one of those rules they brought in and then went, I can't really be bothered with it anymore. It's too much like hard work. Right, then. We're down to this one. 84. Ramsdale. This is one of my favourite moments of the game. I've never seen a goalkeeper do it. 84th minute, we get the ball.
Throw and slide.
Ramsdale gets the ball. He throws it out with such force. He did a knee slide after throwing the ball.
Exactly what you were talking about. I loved it. It was kind of like, and then slid on his knees as he threw the ball. I was like, even just starting an attack, he's fucking so pumped. I love it.
It was definitely, and I've not seen any photos of that yet because I only got to the PC 10 minutes before the show started, and then I had to get all the tweets ready and stuff like that. People are saying they like Bob Lex's idea. Now the next one I've got 85th minute. We had 81% possession. 86th minute, 15th corner. 89th minute, 16th corner. 90th minute. 6 minutes of injury time, and then it said 73 touches in their box. Again, breaking records. We broke the record against Aston Villa, was it, for the most number of shots in the second half of a Premier League game this season? Yep. I'm not sure that's worth a trophy or a bus parade, although some would claim it.
Make a DVD.
I haven't numbered these ones. I think about the 92nd minute, Nelson had a good shot on target. Odegaard had a pot shot. Zinni crossed, but no one was there. And then Deke, 97th/98th minute. What happened then? Anything important happen?
Something did happen. We get another corner. The ball's played in by Odegaard. Someone headers it out. Hold on, let me see who that is. The number 25. That's the guy who scored the header against us.
Was it?
So he heads the ball out. Reiss Nelson's on the edge of the box. He takes it on his chest, but he doesn't do it quite as good as he wanted it to. So he taps it with his right foot. As the ball is rising back up from that, he hits it absolutely perfectly with his weak foot, left peg, and it just soared. Kind of like the Ramsey goal that he scored years ago, where it kind of just like a 90-degree angle, and it just kept rising into the top of the net. Can't remember. It was against Galatasaray, maybe. Kind of reminded it stayed its course. It weren't fucking moving. Neto gets beaten. And once again, is my favourite moment of like loads of people celebrating in different manners. So, we've got Saliba, who's somebody worded it perfectly, 6'4", but he prances like Bambi around everywhere. He's flying around, nearly ripping his shirt off. Obviously Nelson trying to calm him down, which is funny. Odegaard's losing it, and Ben White, we've seen the images of him literally doing this in front of Neto. I'm guessing for all the time wasting that guy did. Sorry. But what a goal. And in the moments in the way that it happened as well, I lost it just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Young, fast, scientific expert Ramsey and lots of hearts. Don't know why you've done that.
Aaron Ramsey. I met Aaron Ramsey. Really, very quiet, reserved gentleman. I got him to sign a picture. I got a picture with him, physical picture, but I got him to sign a little picture I had when he was silencing the Stoke fans when he scored the goal on his comeback from the injury that he got from the leg break from Shawcross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him to sign the little picture of him shushing the Stoke fans. He liked that picture. Good guy.
Yes, I shall go and find the tweet in a bit, Boblex, and give it a retweet. I was just looking, which you can see me looking at the other screen. ESR got in the pile. Come running back in again.
Yeah, he was totally fine. Yeah.
So where is that picture? Is it here?
Yeah. Emile Smith Rowe. Where is he?
Did you see a small child come running into the dugout?
No,
and he didn't.
No, I didn't see that. Well, there's a child on the pitch.
And then Arteta put his arm around him and then ushered him back into the crowd again. I think his parents were like, go on, son, on you get. Someone ran on the pitch.
He just took it. He was like, I'm fucking getting in there, mate. Fucking hell, yeah.
Boy, Tim makes a very good point. The players must never forget how good it felt to win against the odds today and against Villa. That was another really important
fucking beautiful sentiment. Beautiful sentiment. That's exactly right. We shouldn't forget, especially us as well, when we're having moments of cloudiness, because there's going to be it's going to be a very bumpy road until the end of the season. So just remember this, guys. Just remember this. Hold it in your mind.
That's it. Sir Nicholas says, who's watching on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you very much, Sir Nicholas. That's why you were knighted. I've never seen 5 handballs and 3 fouls in the box, all not given. It's like the ref decided you can foul Arsenal, just only in the box. A new listener here, what viewer? Ebrim Jatta. This Arsenal team is special. Love from Italy. Forza Inter.
No, hold on. No, you got that wrong, Danny. You got that wrong. This Arsenal team is special. Love from Italy. Italy.
Wow.
Questioning. There's a question mark at the end of the sentence.
No, I just think they're just pressing buttons. Yeah, I like Italy. I used to think I was part Italian. It turns out I'm not.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I love Sorrento. Sorrento's my Italian team. Sorrento's my Italian team. Yes. No. This is Hayward Heath.
I didn't think it was.
No, I was just pointing at myself. I was verbalizing and talking about myself. Sorrento is my Italian team. Forza Sorrento. They are in the Serie D 8th. At the 8th, there's 9 sections in Serie D, and then they're in the 8th one.
And I used to support Palermo until they were taken over by the Man City group, and now they're dead to me. Don One says, I'm worried for the structural integrity of the stadium. The Emirates nearly collapsed when that goal went in.
So loud. It was beautiful.
Coulson, lovely memories of Rambo version 1.0.
Great player.
Yes. Joshua Page, the camera was absolutely shaking from the Emirates bouncing. Gold, I remember that one forever. And if we go on to win the league.
We will. We will. Not if. We will. We will.
Ebrima says, watching from Italy in Udine. Is it anywhere near Udinese? I don't know.
Probably
I love it.
That's what that
football. San Marino forever, says Boy 10. Lovely.
It's an FM save right there.
I've got a soft spot for Parma and Fiorentina.
I like
Don
Parma,
One. I'm a mafia man myself with a name like Don. You would be, wouldn't you, Don? Right, have people got any questions? At the moment, we've only got 5 questions. We have done the show. We've done the goals. We've done everything else. We've got a question from Don One. Question for later. Thoughts on Reiss? Would you give the lad a new contract? 100% yes. Even before today. The versatility. He's young. He's English, which adds a premium on and helps with the no. Because although we've got a lot of English players, it's a yes from me, Bob. Deke?
Yeah.
You said yes.
What? I was reading something. What did you say?
Should Reiss get a new contract?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Guaranteed. Yeah, 100%. I was going to ask who your man of the match was, because, we had the Partey situation where he scores the goal and he just dominates in the middle of the park. Ramsdale making those saves, he pretty much wins the game for us by saving, but then Nelson getting the assist in the goal. So who would you give the man of the match to? Because it's difficult.
And I'm going to give it to Ramsdale, because if it wasn't for Ramsdale's antics in a nice way, we'd have been 3-0 down by half-time.
I agree.
We built today's cake of loveliness on a foundation of Ramsdale being brilliant. I can't believe WhoScored.com gave him a 6.2. Absolutely disgraceful. Yeah. Saves, he made 2. Neto says it made 6. But without those early saves, those 2 or 3 saves that Ramsdale made, no. They've given Reiss Nelson man of the match 8.4. And the next highest for Arsenal is Odegaard 7.8. They're all crack over there. I swear.
Interesting. Odegaard had a good game, but I think Nelson, Ramsdale, Partey. I think Nelson gets it, because if it's not for him, we don't win. You know what I mean? Ramsdale keeps his as is, but if it's not for Nelson, and in the moment as well, how it happens and everything like that, it's a feeling that it lasted all the fucking evening. I've been fucking on the hype train, going on Twitter, watching every post-match interview. Fuck it, that's why I know all about Trossard. Has no idea about the injury, but he said he felt something. That's what Arteta said. Because I watched it, because I was still fucking in, like, my mate was like, oh, mate, let's go and play some. I was like, no, I can't. I'm still fucking literally buzzing off my tits about that game. I want more. Inject it in my veins now.
You lovely people in the chat, or you gooners, if you want to put in who was your man of the match and a little reason why, I'll read them out. Question here from Procrastinating Womble. How many likes would it take for Danny to be able to afford trousers? I actually own 4 pairs of trousers, all identical. Like most of my T-shirts, they're all the same. I've got 3 pairs of shoes, they're all the same. They're all varying colours.
When you open your closet, they just hanging and they're all just identical.
I've rolled up in the drawer. Can't have a closet. I can't get close enough to it. So everything I buy, I just buy the same thing in multiple colours, all of the same thing. We've got someone new there. Slippery Pancakes. Is that a medal you're holding up? It looks like you've done some running and won a medal.
It looks like a warm medal, maybe.
Rudy Rastos has picked Reiss Nelson for his man of the match. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. It would be good. We have been stuck on 7,000-ish subscribers on YouTube for quite literally, I don't like using the word literally unless it's important, quite literally 4 years. Tom and that lot and all those other wonderful
That's impressive consistency,
friends of ours, they will get that in a good week. And we have been stuck on the same number of subscribers for 3 bloody years. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. At the moment, we have got 71 thumbs up. I think once this season we managed to get 100 thumbs up, and then I wept like
that was one of our ones, wasn't it? Was that the Liverpool game or something? I can't remember what it was.
Well, I can tell you which one it was. I'll just go back.
Oh, okay, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. I will say as well, Arteta in the post-match conference said that he wants the players to enjoy this moment and not worry about next week's game just now. He wants to let them go out and enjoy their moment. He goes, in moments like this, I want them to remember and embrace it so they can use it as fuel to go forward, kind of thing. I like that he said that. He's like, you've worked hard, go and play hard.
Comforting words from a wise man. Wise beyond his years.
He's incredibly, it's crazy. He's only 4 years older than me, and he's just insanely intelligent. And that's all Xhaka says in these interviews recently. But yeah, I'm really happy with the performance overall. What a game. We will remember this game until the end of the season, 100%. This game will be talked about, I'm hoping in a fond memory, because we are 100% looking like it's ours to lose, guys. Ours to lose.
Cheers, Womble. Our record number of likes this season was 136, and the Man United we beat them 3-2. That one. Oh. Young, fast, scientific. Question, guys. Do you guys think we should keep fucking up teams in the last second of the match? Yeah.
For health reasons, no.
If you're ever going to get a game put on TV, they're going to pick a team that keep doing stuff like that, leaving it to the last minute and doing stuff, because we have done it 3 or 4 times this season. Yep. 1 game's in the last part of the game. It's I think as a team, it's something you need to do less and less often when you get better as a team. But it just shows we never give up. We've had so many years of just giving up. When things go bad, down tools in the Ozil days, just go, I can't be bothered anymore. And
don't give up anymore.
Walk all over us.
We don't give up anymore. We've got such resilience. But I think it's also because they've got such a belief in each other. They know that all of them are going to push it. Because, as I said, when the last goal goes in, a few of them are all kind of doing their own kind of celebrations. White's doing it in front of Neto. Odegaard's running around. They're all just doing their own thing because they're all just like so hyped that they've scored the goal themselves. White celebrated more with the goal that he didn't score for the goal that he did. Yeah, it's something else. It really, really is.
Team togetherness. Right, got some more questions from earlier in the show. Pete Coulson says, was I hallucinating, or was there 4 different obvious handballs shouts that went unpunished? I think there was 4, and I think there was 3 fouls that
maybe there was. I heard maybe 5, maybe 5.
Ridiculous.
Let's just put it there. There was a few. There was a fucking few of them.
Josh Page from the USA says, I think Arteta said in the conference yesterday he's been trying to get players to read more. What book do you reckon Xhaka is reading of The Art of War?
Yeah, that's exactly the one I was going for as well. I was thinking that. I was like, what's that Chinese book again? I can't remember what it's called. The Art of War. That's 100% it. Yeah.
And Saka will be reading The War of Art because he looks like the artistic sort. But the book that Rogan is... did you watch Rogan this week? He had Russell Brand on there.
I haven't watched it yet.
Very, very
I
good.
love Russell. I love Rusty Rockets. I've seen him. I've seen him live.
So have I once.
Love him. Love Rusty Rockets. I've loved him since... I loved him since fucking when he started first doing
Big
Brother's Little Mouth or whatever it was called. I was like, I fucking love him. I love his hair, his attitude. He's fucking so smart. He speaks so eloquently. Anyway, solid guy. I've not seen it yet.
Nose makes a good point. We rarely used to score last-minute winners. True. Avon says, Ben White's celebration was epic. He ran up to Neto, laughed in his face, and then wheeled away. Brilliant. Sky on Twitch. I'm glad you're still with us, Sky. Lovely jubbly. That we didn't get, that one penalty is amazing. I think that made us want it more and never give up because we were quite obviously being robbed by them. War and peace off. Mr. Bob Lexus, but also on Twitch. Apparently, you can kick an Arsenal player in the air and it isn't a foul, especially in the penalty box. Well, we saw the way that Crystal Palace, that Scottish bloke, took Saka out, deliberately killed him and got away with it.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's still being replayed today, isn't it?
Any more questions, people? We've got one more from Pete. He says, I have been a Gooner fanatic for a lifetime and cannot remember a more emotional season. Can you?
I think it's to do... Well, go on, you go first.
I was going to say just the 98 season, because Wenger coming in, we knew he was going to do stuff because he'd won the title with Monaco, he'd won the Emperor's Cup with Nagoya Grand Passé, and I knew that he was going to do stuff, but not that quickly, not in his first full season, for us to go and do that. And we've been so far behind, Man United, 19 points behind Man United at one point, and we had all those games in hand, and we come back, and we took it, and we did it. And that season, much like this season, but I have more belief in our boys this season than I did then.
The difference is social media. Social media wasn't prevalent. Obviously, it wasn't a thing back then. Yeah. Now you can rewatch things. You can at people. You can talk to like-minded people. You can sit on the internet and watch a podcast with a couple of guys chatting about Arsenal. There's documentaries made of the Arsenal about a season when it was just taken away from us at the final moments, and you saw glimpses of what they did. You fell in love with players on a deeper level. You see them having these interviews. You see a different player. You see them tweeting out and all this stuff. It gets you going on a different level. We are so unified as a club right now. I've never heard the Emirates so fucking loud. I fucking love it. They can't talk about Highbury Library anymore. This is something completely different. We're a different altered beast right now. I am loving the fact that we're all singing on the same hymn sheet. When we won the game, Arteta hugs his entire coaching staff. They all celebrate together as a unit because they're all reading off the same hymn sheet, and I'm fucking loving it. I'm enjoying the ride. Let's keep going.
We had a question here from Mr. Bob Lex. What has been your favourite game so far this season? I've just been looking at them, and my one is the 2 against Spurs. I mean, my priorities in the season go 1, beat Spurs at home, 2, beat Spurs away, and then anything else after that is a bonus. So I'm going to say that beating them at home and then beating them away, not necessarily the greatest games, but the ones that mean the most to me. As long as we do that. And also, St. Totteringham's Day is a step closer. The calculations are going to come out. They lost, we won. Looking at the Premier League table, while Deke has to think about his favourite game of the season. We are now, whereas the Scum are still fourth. How are they fourth? We are 18 points clear of them. 18! Bloody hell. 39. The team at the bottom of the league are only 24 points behind Spurs, and we're 18 points ahead of them. Wow. Well, what's your favourite game of the season, Andy?
I really enjoyed the Liverpool game. I think it was a moment where we won 3-2. I think it was a moment where we started asking questions to ourselves. This was before we realised Liverpool were really shit this season. Bear that in mind. So we were still in the mindset that, holy fuck, this is the Liverpool that's been competing with Manchester City for the last few years. So we thought we were going into that game. In actual fact, Liverpool was shit. But when you were watching that game and we scraped it 3-2 and the goals that we scored and the tenacity that we brought to the game, I was like, fuck, I think we're different class this season. This is that was, for me, was a special moment because it was it was like the moment where it clicked for me, like, oh, we're playing quite well this season. We could do something here. I think top four is a real possibility. It was that moment for me that really sparked it. This one I will remember for just the elation I felt at the end, where I felt like I was having a fucking panic attack. So thanks to Arsenal for that, because and as I said, sitting there and just rewatching shit, not being able to process anything. My missus is sick of the fucking game. It only happened a few hours ago. I've shown her about 40 million highlights. She's like, oh my God, I can't watch this shit anymore. So she's like, you just fucking watch this. Why, so it's been a good season, and let's continue it, shall we?
Just having a look at our live YouTube update. We've had 10 subscribers so far today.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, each and every one of you. Boy 10 has got a question. I find myself getting riled up at moments of people wanting to sell Balogun. Why do some parts of the fan base want to sell Balogun? He's a striker we would spunk 50 plus million on. That's it, perfectly. I mean, second, he's got more goals than Messi. He's got more goals than Neymar. He's got more goals than Jonathan David, I think it is, the Canadian in the league. He's second top goal scorer.
I will question that, as much as I agree with that sentiment. I will question it, though, because I think Balogun's in the same situation as Eddie Nketiah. It's not an Arteta signing. It's a player that's there and was there before. The question would be, would Arteta make a... Let's say if Balogun wasn't an Arsenal player and he was doing this in France and we had to buy him outright, do you think Arteta would go for someone like Balogun? I don't think so. I like him as a player. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Don't get me wrong. I want him to come back and I want him to have an opportunity. I don't want to sell him. I want to have an opportunity. There's room in that area. I just think I think it's like the Tierney situation, the Eddie situation. It came out of necessity. And just happened to be that way. I question the ideas of maybe Arteta going for someone like that. I can't be the only one thinking this.
Question here from Josh says, how many points win us the title? Now, don't say your number. Have a little thing. I've already got what I think. We've got 63 points. We've got 12 games left to go, which is 36 points, which is going to be 99 points in total. That's if we win every single game. So what do you reckon? Have a little think. I've got a number
in my head.
Go on in. What do you reckon? I'm thinking 92.
88.
88, as little as that.
I think so. I think we're still not seeing the end of Man City and how inconsistent they're playing. And I think we're going to have I think it's going to be a very interesting end to the season. I really do. I hope we don't scupper or anything like that, but that's just my thought. I think even 86 is doable, like as in winning the league with 86 points. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping 90 plus, but I think it's doable even with 86 and 88.
Locus is 93. If you want to put in the chat, let us know what you think, how many points it would take to win it. I'm sticking with 92, well, 90 to 92, because that would mean losing 2 games or drawing 4, 5, 6 games to lose that many points. I don't think we're going to do that. I mean, when you look at it at the moment, we've drawn 3 and lost 3 out of 26. And one of those we should have won. The Bournemouth, the Brentford one. We should have won that. So we should have been 21-2-3. So I don't think we're going to lose. And 6 games we haven't won out of 20. So we would have to lose or draw that many again out of the remaining 12. I can't see that happening. Still 5 points ahead of City, though, which is brilliant. Aaron Techley says, I am just a bit worried with Trossard and Nketiah and Jesus injured. It's piling up. I don't think the Trossard one's going to be too much. Jesus is going to be back soon.
And Nketiah is light. It's a light thing. I will say then, Danny, so we've got Fulham next. Obviously, we've got the Europa League games, but we won't talk about that. Palace, Leeds, Liverpool. I think Liverpool's going to be tough because it's the Anfield. It's the Cobb. It's going to be always tricky. West Ham, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Southampton, not a problem. Man City, obviously, at the Etihad, that's going to be tricky. Chelsea at home. Who knows? That's questionable as well. Newcastle at St. James. They're not the same Newcastle when we played them last.
2 goals in the last 6 Premier League games.
They're not the same Newcastle that we played them last. So we'll see what happens there. Brighton away from at home, Nottingham Forest away, and then Wolves at home. I think there's probably maybe 2 losses in there. Given warrant, we could possibly lose a couple of games, Liverpool, Man City, but we win all the rest. I think we do it. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a problem. I think we could do this.
Yeah, people are going 91, 91, 91, 91. 8 more from 11 wins. 95 wins the league, says Boy 10. Well, I think that's it. I think there's no more questions to go through. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. Not bad for a half-hour show, as we never managed to do. Right, yes. So thank you very much to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. That's I think at least another 10. It only shows you when it goes up by 10, so it could be 19 and it would only show 10. So if you do like the podcast, do give it a thumbs up, do give it a subscribe. We are live on Twitter and Twitch and obviously YouTube because that's where you're watching. The shows will then be uploaded to SoundCloud and Spotify and iTunes and Facebook. I put them on there, put links to it on our Instagram, which you don't really do much with anymore. I do try and do a couple of pictures every day. And that's it. So, Deke, tell the people where they can find you on the Twitters if they want to be annoyed.
If you want to keep your sanity, follow me. Don't follow me on the screen at Deacon Justified. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't follow me. Don't do it. If you're in health, don't do it.
I hardly ever bother tweeting anymore. I've deleted 160,000 tweets in my time.
You do. It's your header on your page, right? You talk about how many tweets you've deleted. Like I thought it was 137,000, right?
118,323 deleted tweets because I was tweeting.
We need to know these things.
We
need to know these things.
Because back in the day, you could tweet what you wanted. Bye, guys. It was a pleasure, says Rudy. Gentile Match of the Day is on. And we are first on. Right, everybody go watch Match of the Day. And yes, Paul Nelson's chat box. Big up yourselves. We are the winners tonight. Yes, and Pete says, thanks for the show. Always love what you are doing. You are cooking, Deeks. Very good indeed. Right, we will be back on Tuesday. I think Chris is going to grace us with his presence of hosting a show. Not sure who else is going to be on. What are you looking for?
Looking for the remote. I want to put Match of the Day on.
Very good. Yes, we'll be back on Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We're going to win the league. It's on. It's back on. It was never off. It's back on.
Never off. Fully on.
And Reiss Nelson, one of our own, winning the game for us today and for some superb substitutions. Yes, so just say goodbye to everybody. And then I'm going to press the button and then you're going to have an outro of, which one should I go for? Anfield 89 outro, I think. And we will see you Tuesday. Goodbye.
Very nice.
Out it goes to...
Say that again.
I was going to say very nice touch.
Good night.
Out it goes to Lee Dixon. Long ball from Lee Dixon. Smith will hold it up, plays it square to Thomas, and Thomas goes inside Nickel, and Thomas is there, and Thomas has scored for Arsenal in injury time. Michael Thomas has scored for Arsenal. A ball played through the gap. Thomas was there. He held off 2 challenges, kept his head. By my watch, we are a minute and a half into injury time.